We live. Everything should be cushy there. People deluded. I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. One love to the Twitch gang out there, whoever is out there. I appreciate you lot for obviously jumping over to this platform and taking me in. Please make sure you're following and you're subscribing on Twitch in the same way you do on YouTube, particularly if you've got Amazon Prime at no extra cost. Also, big part of information. The good times are here for a while, people. After this watch along 5:20, obviously, as you lot can see here, stay on Twitch because we'll be doing Atalanta versus Young Boys. In fact, I'll be watching the game and you lot be watching it with me. You know, it should be a decent game of football. You know, Young Boys obviously pulled off an upset against Manchester United. Atalanta play good football. It should be a positive clash, and obviously we'll keep our eyes and ears open to what else happens in this footballing world this week in the Champions League. After that, though, people on YouTube, you know, at 8 p.m. it is Juventus versus Chelsea in terms of a watch along. I'll be live from 7:40, so please make sure you're joining me on that. One love to everyone who was on my watch along. I mean, my live stream of my last one, which was on YouTube at 11:30 a.m. today. Obviously, we spoke about Arsenal, where Arsenal's concerned, people. Now, I think I covered what Xhaka's injury is out for 3 months. If nobody knows, Leno has now come out and had some things to say about him sitting on the bench. There's been a couple of other bits and pieces. If there's any things you want me to cover, please let me know. I'm waiting on Buj. And then obviously we'll speak about a lot of stuff, or better yet, I'll get his opinion on stuff I've already spoken about. You know, I'm definitely going to ask him about the North London derby and all of those sort of things, how everything went down, man, and he should be here soon. So yeah, man, get comfortable. It should be a decent one. Trying to see, is there anything new in the world of football in terms of Arsenal? What else has come out since we've last been online together, people? It's still the Leno stuff, really. It's still the Leno business. So again, not too much has changed in that regards. Let me change this. Out for 3 months. That's what it takes. There. And there we have it. There we have it. Don't know what was going on there, but yeah, we're live. One sec, folks. I can't lie. I need to bang off the hoodie. It's mad hot, fam. Mad hot, people. I can't lie. I'm actually dying. Sorry about that. Oh, now I'm comfortable. Hey, right on time. Big up yourself as well, B. But yeah, right on time. Right on time. You saying, broski?
My guy, man. What's good, man?
I'm good. I see smile on faces. Obviously, we're gonna get into it, but it was a madness.
Hey, listen, I'm gassed. I swear down, yeah. Like nothing's been able to put me out of a good mood since Sunday. Still, literally nothing. It's like even at work, whatever anyone's asking me, like I'm like calm. It's light. You know what I mean?
You're the best person in the world, basically, in good spirits and that.
Honestly, fully good spirits, man. Honestly.
All right, fam. Let's just jump straight into it, man. Like North London derby. Obviously, last time we spoke, we had fairly reason to be confident. It's not like we didn't have a hope, but we was a bit pessimistic. We didn't know what was going to happen. You know, we kind of said, you know, we spent a good portion speaking about Xhaka in the midfield, and if he starts, positively proved everyone, including myself, wrong. So it's like, Where are you at, man? Like, what's your opinions on the game, man? Just, I know you got lots to say. Just let me know, man. There's no structure. Just all the
Boy,
thoughts. Just let them off, man.
mad thing. Okay, where do I start? So I think what you raised just then was a really good place to start in terms of the whole Xhaka debate, and I think most Arsenal fans looking at the lineup, that was the key thing that stood out. And to be honest, even in the run up to um, the announcement of the starting 11, there was always some doubt about who Arteta was going to pick in his midfield, and the debate around whether Xhaka, even though he was available, should be in the starting
In
11,
the
given
11,
the
yeah.
fact that the last time we saw him, he was getting sent off in a big game where we needed him, being one of our more experienced and senior players. We really needed him to stand up and basically be accountable. You see what I'm saying, against City, and he didn't do that. So a man he has been out, like he's been suspended for 3 games, and the first game back, you're putting him straight back into the starting 11. And obviously, I was on the side of the argument that I didn't feel like he deserved to go straight back
To
into
walk
the
back into
starting
the team,
11.
essentially,
I
yeah.
just felt like, you know what I mean, like it's one of those things where you have to hold your licks, like you know what I'm saying, you done something wrong, like you need to be accountable for it, basically.
And the fact that we're in, I wouldn't say, I want to be wary even with beating Spurs to say we've turned our form around because it's 3-3 sort of thing. But it's like at the time, I was of the belief, at least while we're kind of shaky, don't try and fix things that are not broken,
Yeah,
sort of thing. So
yeah,
you're right on the Xhaka
yeah.
whole debate, man. But I'll cut you off.
100%. And also you have to consider the fact that we have now managed to find our groove using a formation that Arteta has long been wanting to deploy, the whole 4-3-3, right? And obviously now we're in a position where we've got everyone fit again. And what's important now is continuity and making sure that we can stay as stable as possible. Now we've got our players fit, and we've got a system that seems to work and get the best out of everyone. Let's stick by it now. Like for the next few games, let's just keep that consistency going, innit?
Like you
So
said, continuity is
yeah.
like goes with people really underestimates that sort of stuff. It's like I feel I don't want to jump the gun, but I spoke about it the last time. I feel there's a couple positive lessons I feel Arteta has shown me so far, and that's obviously there's been injuries, but he's not seeming to rotate too much. Yeah, you can bring in a Xhaka and mix and match. That's not really rotation, but wholesale changes. Aubameyang through the middle consistently. Actually, I
Exactly.
feel he's handling Partey's fitness and Partey himself better as well. So I think there are some positive signs, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. And another real positive that I got from that game, and it is also in some way related to both Xhaka and Arteta, is prior to the game when Arteta was being interviewed, he was speaking about the fact that it's really important to manage your emotions in these games. And of course, everyone wants to put their best foot forward. Everyone wants to be committed in the challenges. Everyone wants to everyone knows the importance of
You just
that
want to
game
rise to
for
the
Arsenal
occasion.
fans. Everyone wants to rise to the occasions. And sometimes what happens is people overdo it. And that's when people start making rash challenges, when
Facts.
people start losing their heads and doing a madness. You see what I'm
I'm
saying?
getting mad flashbacks. Yeah,
You see what I'm
100%.
saying? And,
100%.
and, and, and he spoke so well about that, yeah? And obviously, then including Xhaka in the starting 11, I'm thinking, boy, that's a bit of a contradiction because we know whenever it's come to those moments,
He's
usually
missed the
Xhaka's the
flashpoints.
guy. You know what I mean? He's the guy that like loses his head sometimes and he sees red and he does a madness. So I'm thinking, boy, like, are we sure that was the right decision given the circumstances? I kind of felt like maybe Lokonga should have started because to me, he seems like someone who has a very balanced temperament. Like he doesn't seem like he's too phased by things. It doesn't seem like he gets too in over his head. And obviously, just to give us a bit more balance defensively as well. But one thing that I can say is most definitely a positive for both the team and for Arteta is the way that what he said before the game translated through the game. And
Yeah, yeah.
Xhaka is a case in point. He was talking before about the fact that we have to manage our expectations, we have to manage our emotions and whatnot. And I saw that permeate throughout the whole team in that performance.
Everyone was accountable.
Everyone was accountable. Everyone understood what that game meant, and everyone went about their business expertly. of course, you can talk about
100%.
particular individuals that contribute to goals and assists and whatnot, but everyone to a man knew what they needed to do and they done their job.
Facts.
And for me, that was the first sign that what Mikel is saying off the field is translating to what the players are producing on the field. That for me was the first.
That's a fantastic point, because I feel as much as I criticize Arteta, I mean, we spoke about it as well. It's like the players seem to back him, like they see, rightly or wrongly, they back him. So for me, at some point, and I felt a bit like this under Wenger, because the players used to sit and say, it's like at some point, let me see that you back this manager, that you're listening. Because for me, if I love someone from a footballing point of view and I back someone, I believe in them, and the media can only, as much as I criticize them, they can only go what they see. We don't see training, right? So it's like, often than not, like you said, Arteta would say one thing and rightly or wrongly, the team would do another. Now I saw a correlation positively. It's like for once they rose to the occasion. Yeah, you know, Spurs, they were a bit of a wounded animal and whatnot, but we can't account for that. As you said, accountabilities, defenders wanted to defend, strikers, forget scoring. Aubameyang wanted to make a hard day of the centre half. Smith Rowe burst in the ground. All the extra percentages were there. And my big hope is that you're able to do this in a game that, with respect to Brighton, but in fact, Brighton's a big game. If we was to play Brighton in just a normal casual game where the emotions aren't there, can you still rise and do it consistently? As you said, you know, I call it fairly. If it works, it works. If not, we sit there and question. And I think the good thing I saw is, you know, many people would have said maybe Aubameyang, like last year, should sit out. Smith Rowe, do you have to play him off that left? What's going on with Pepe? You just mentioned, and I agree with you, like Xhaka. I feel everything worked. And moments like that is fine. As you saw, you know, Ramsdale being accountable, Tomiyasu standing up, the centre half, you know, pocketing Kane, the Haaland boys moving crazy. For me, it was fantastic to see them experienced man set their levels as well, because there's been times, bro, where we've won games like that, but it's Saka, Smith Rowe, Odegaard's kind of young, so he was another one, throw him in there. It's not normally the veterans, so I saw veterans. And we, you know, again, it was a delight to see. Big up the fans, because they resonated well and they fed off the energy and them things as well.
100%. I can't agree with you more, man. Like, it was proper good to see them guys stand up and be accountable. Like you said, Aubameyang for me in particular, because he's obviously had a very, very tough time, like of late, innit? And a lot of question marks have been raised against his name ever since.
And his character.
If we're keeping it a buck, ever since he signed that new contract, the jury's been out on him. Do you see what I'm saying? So the fact that he's rid all of that like negativity, he's rid all of the criticism, and he's standing up and being
winning headers, like my man said. It was mad.
Bro.
It was mad.
It's like,
where you going? You think Lacazette's the only one with general player? You mad? Like, I was on something that day, boy. He got his haircut. He was moving mad.
Bro, honestly, like I think he had a brilliant game. The way that he led the line, I thought was outstanding, man. It was superb. And I think another really interesting point as well is that now we're starting to see partnerships being developed on the field. And I think that's also part of the reason why we're creating more chances now, and why things seem a bit more fluid. I think it's again that key word in continuity, because the players are playing in a more regular team and lineup, and the formation, although it might change a little bit,
more stability, man.
There's more
not these widespread changes week in, week out. It's not healthy for everyone, especially 100%. For me. Yeah, especially for me, when these players get to a certain level, like if you have City players, City, even they would suffer, but they could go 3 at the back, 4 at the back, 3 at the back, 4 at the back. We can't really do that. So I agree with what you just said. That's a fantastic point, bro.
Yeah. And I feel also like people are rubbing off on each other. I looked at, and I was watching pause. Hey. Yeah, pause. Yeah. I was watching Ben White in particular.
I let him know, because I didn't even have to ask you on that. I've all forgot. Yeah,
he had a much better game, and a lot of question marks on him were about his prowess aerially, like, and how
he won a header in the build up to one of them goals.
Exactly that, man. And I think that again, that partnership between White and Gabriel is starting to form now, where they're starting to get more used to each other, and I feel like that is helping Ben White improve his game as well. And
do you think he's getting him more confident as well, Ben White?
I think so. I think what we're going to end up seeing as the season progresses is, and it's not to say that Gabriel's distribution isn't good already, but I think he's going to get more comfortable on the ball, passing on the ball. And I think Ben White is going to get more aggressive and better aerially. I feel like both of them are going to rub off with each other. Again, pause.
Learn stuff.
But and learn stuff.
Right, that's a good point.
And I feel like that partnership is going to flourish in that sense. I feel like Emil Smith Rowe and Kieran Tierney, I think they're going to develop a better partnership, and that's going to improve on the left hand side. I think on the right, Tomiyasu and Saka are also going to improve their partnership. And I think another one, we started seeing this not even just in that Spurs game, but in the game against Burnley, the partnership between Partey and Odegaard, that basically ran the show for us. And I think it only is gonna, be to our benefit that those two are gonna continue to flourish their relationship in terms of us moving the ball from deep midfield to high midfield quickly.
Quick transitions and that.
Yeah. I feel like that's exactly how it's gonna run. And of course, Aubameyang is gonna help him. The players that are playing in behind him, the Odegaards, the Smith Rowes, the Sakas, I feel like the way that they combine with each other is going to work well. You know what I mean? Like before we saw it was Lacazette, the link man. He was the one that had a good rapport with these guys, and I think it was really just because, especially the young ones. I think it was really because for most of the time he was the one playing through the middle, and he was the one that was able to establish those relationships with them. Whilst Oba was out wide on the left. But I think now, because Arteta is showing like 100% Oba is going to be the man playing through the middle, it's just going to be a matter of time before everyone
fall into place.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's just about keeping this team fit and keeping them playing together, man. And I think we've definitely seen some really, really good positive signs, and I think it's going to continue, man.
Do you think the jury's still out? Because as happy as I am, as ecstatic as I am, it's still a young squad. I do think there was elements, like if I was not to scrutinize it, but just to move away from the positives, it's not that it's a negative. I feel second half, if we're going to do this pressing thing, whether it stays consistently, I think we need to be mindful and manage the game, because we gas out. It's impossible to be that aggressive from minute 0 to 90. And I think we saw that when Arteta first came against Chelsea and United. I think the players have got to know to manage it, and especially the experienced ones. I did feel subs needed to happen earlier in the second half. I feel from a player's point of view, the last 3 games that we've won, I just feel we've given teams, and it's cherry picking, it's minimal stuff, but I think there's been one too many elements that could have changed the game. Like, despite the fact that it was the best game full stop, but best 45, best 20 for me, there were still elements where it looked like Spurs could get something. And these fine margins went against us, that Ben White penalty / free kick, whatever. Kane missed a tap-in, really, and a goal he scores every week, really. There was things that went against us. I'm not criticizing, I'm just mentioning it because I feel that's where we need to go to the next level. What do you think I got 2 questions. What did you make of Tomiyasu? And obviously Smith Rowe and Saka, they scored and they had good games. I hope it does bits for the confidence. But do you think playing them in midweek and Partey as well, do you think it was, I don't want to say masterclass, but it did a little something going into this? Because Partey allegedly wanted to play, and Saka, 2 of them scored and got a little confidence. Partey got his minutes in his legs, and then they all had convincing performances.
No, 100%. So let me start with the Saka, Emil Smith Rowe and Partey thing, and then I'll talk Tomiyasu.
Yeah, go on, man.
I think of course, in hindsight, it worked a masterclass, didn't it? Like, particularly with Partey, because he obviously said that he felt that he needed more minutes to improve his fitness and whatnot, and I think that helped him gain fitness, and I think it also helped Emil Smith Rowe and Saka. I think it also helped them get sharpness as well.
Facts.
What I will say though is it's not something that we should be running all the time. I personally don't think it's a risk that we should always take. I think it's got to be managed according to the opponent that we have at the weekend and what the players are feeling at that precise moment in time. We've got to be sensible with it, because whilst it does make sense and on paper, theoretically, you're getting minutes in those players' legs, the thing is you still are susceptible to injuries. You don't know. Like, we even saw it in that game against Spurs, bruv. There was a challenge that I think it was Skip putting on Partey. Like some senseless challenge that he put on him, a late one, left it late on him, and you're just thinking, like, those are the kind of injuries that we just like. That, do you know what I mean? We can avoid those kind of things by, you see what I'm saying? So I'm just thinking like in a game that really we could play a weaker side in, if we're playing our the players that we're so reliant on. You know, it makes me feel a bit uneasy, and particularly with Partey, you know, less so with Saka and Emil Smith. Although those two are both very important to us, for me, one of the most important things for us this season is keep. You know what I mean? Especially with his ongoing injury issues from last season. You know, we saw how much of a big miss he was when he was out of the team, and how many injuries he was racking up, and the fact that he couldn't really get a consistent run of games under his belt because he kept on pulling up with this, pulling up with that. He's a guy that you have to really, really manage because he's so central to everything that we're doing. You see what I'm saying? So yes, it worked on this occasion, but don't use that as the formula every single time going forward. You know what I mean? You have to. Especially, that's why you've got a squad, and especially because you're saying that you trust in your squad, Arteta, you trust in the guys that can come in to replace these guys. You got to trust in them, man. You got to give people like Ainsley minutes. You got to give Lokonga minutes. You know what I mean? And I think like you got guys in the squad that can play that role, man, in those lesser games.
You said it there, man. You said it there. And what did you make of Tomiyasu's performance?
Bro, another brilliant performance, man.
Brilliant signing. So far, so good, man.
Bro, and we're looking at it. What was it? 18 million? Absolute slip,
Something
bro.
Stupid, bro.
If he can stay fit and continue, like he looks to me, he looks like a guy who's very, very consistent. He looks like a stable, steady Eddie, a Sagna type man.
Competent is the word for me, bro.
Competent, bro. Like he's just gonna put in, you know, every game it's a 7/8 out of 10 kind of.
Yeah, minimum he's gonna give you the occasional 5. He might have the occasional terror time 3, but like he said, I think he's confident, competent, and consistent, man. I feel he's just a right back, man. I've spoken about him enough.
Just a right back
he just does his job. Like it's the best compliment I can give. He's like and it's not even just the fact that you do your job. I don't know what he does in his personal life, but I just get the vibe you take your craft seriously. I can't say with the other fullbacks, not that they haven't, but I don't get the vibe that you want to be the best fullback because as I felt with Bellerin, who's I shouldn't really be talking on him because he's not relevant. You know, you look at half the best quote unquote right backs in the league now. Bellerin was about before all them guys. You've seen you get lapped. Now, Ainsley's getting a chance, but you ain't really taking it. Cedric, I forget you're here. You're probably going to play Man United away in November or something. So I just like the fact he does his job, bro. And he's 22, but he moves like he's 29. Like he's just real maturity in his game, man.
Yeah, proper. And again, I was when I was watching his first interview behind the scenes at Arsenal, he was talking about like his schooling and his development in terms of defending so far. And he was basically saying like the time that he's spent in different countries has really, really helped him. And in particular, whilst being in Italy, he was like the education on defending and the art of defending there
university
is different. It's different. You see them man there in Italy, you just need to look at the most elite defenders over the years, over the last decade, bro. There's so many Italians that are up there in that regard, and it's because they literally love defending. Like
the art of it as well.
Love it. The art of defending, they love it, and it's religiously taught in academies and the way that the structure works as well. He was talking about like the fact that where was he before? Was he in
Bologna?
But no, but before Bologna, what I can't remember what countries it. I think he was in. Was he in Holland or?
I don't even know.
Yeah, but where he was before, he was comparing it in it, and he was like, over there, defending is more individual, so it's about what you do in isolation. But in Italy, your coaching systems, a collective unit, and you can see he's bringing that element to our backline now over here. Do you see what I'm saying? But he's a man who's you can tell he's very intelligent. He's well coached. He obviously can already speak English, which is a huge plus.
Big plus, literally.
You see what I'm saying? And even Arteta was like, he was so surprised at how well he could speak and understand English. So I think, you know, there's nothing I can criticize Tomiyasu for at this point in time. I think he's absolutely solid. To think that he's only 22, I just think, bruv, this guy could could be a madness over the next
bro.
decade. He could be an absolute madness.
He keeps this up. I'm cooking my agendas, but I'm cooking best in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
league. I'm ready. Like Walker, Cancelo, all you guys better be
It's en
ready.
route still. The
It's on,
agendas are
like,
en
just
route
trust me.
still.
He keeps doing what he's doing, and the
Yeah,
rest will take
yeah,
care
yeah.
of itself, man.
100%. And also, one last
Go on.
thing I wanted to add as well, DG. Yeah,
Go on.
going back to just on the last day of the transfer window on Sky, Cave and them man was talking on man's name.
Them man there.
It was the way they made him seem.
They tried to rub him up.
Yeah, 100%, bro. They was all talking like, he got offered to every single club in the Premier League.
Yeah, like he's some bridesmaid that can never become a wife. Yeah, bro, he got shagged. They made him sound like he's some slouch.
Made him sound like he was rubbed out, bro. Oh yeah, like Chelsea turned their nose up at him. Spurs turned their nose up at him. He's not a centre back. He's not a right back. No one knows. And they was having banter on our name, bro.
They were rubbing it, and now he deserves to hold his L's, bro. That guy needs to come and say sorry, bro. He needs to say sorry. Hold your L. You're not above criticism. For me personally, 100%. With that, I just got the vibe of someone that, not that I was a Tomiyasu expert, but it just looked like he got that opinion off Twitter, and he thought, yo, let me come 100%. And look smug. He looks like a twat.
Yeah, let me just run some banter in it.
Let me try and get some engagement levels. Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Get out of here, fam. Allow me with that. But obviously, I want to speak to you about two individuals. Now, obviously, I think the gift that is Leno, somehow he has made himself the talking point despite playing no moment of the Tottenham game. I know you must have come across these comments. And obviously Ramsdale, because I still don't get twisted, and I know you agree, when we get past the euphoria, for all these players, it's still out, in it. The jury's still out. We lost 3 games, we won 3 games. There's gonna be. I want to see how everybody reacts when they've got, going through a poor run of form, and in particular Ramsdale, because you know how it is for keepers. Sometimes you just go through a rut of games where you're not looking good or where you're playing amazing. And for me, as much as I like his leadership, and he has stood up to be counted in tough times, bro, I just feel. I wouldn't say you've experienced adversity in an Arsenal shirt. Everyone was questioning you. Now everybody loves you. And I think when you look at Tierney, Gabriel, Saka, Smith Rowe, they've all kind of been, I won't say most hated, but it's like a million fingers just pointing at them. So it's like, what did you make of Ramsdale's performance? And I know you've seen Leno's comments. I mean, yeah man, the gift that is Leno, bro.
Yeah, 100%. So starting with Ramsdale, I think I can't think of another player who has managed to turn fans' perceptions of them so quickly in Aaron Ramsdale, because I feel like it was unanimous when Arsenal were looking to sign him that the fan base didn't want him to be the
back-to-back relegations. What are you buying him for?
Yeah, 100%, bro. And then spending near enough 30 million as well, when we felt that we had other areas on the pitch that we needed to strengthen. And I think also what made it worse was the fact that we were so close to negotiating a deal for Onana at a cut price for, like, was it 7 million or whatever?
Peanuts, because of his contract.
Everyone's thinking, raw. Like, have we missed something? Like,
have we not got a memo? Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and it's not like Onana's not a top keeper, or he's not young. Like, not young. He's 25. He's 2 years older than Ramsdale. So all things considered, everyone felt that was the better move, innit? But in a very short space of time, Ramsdale has put in very consistent performances which have changed everyone's perspectives on him. And I think that's testament to him. It's testament to his ability. It's testament to his mentality. Because again, I always watch these guys, their first interviews when they come, and like just trying to understand trying to figure out,
get a vibe for them, innit?
Get a vibe for them. What are they on? What's, like, do you know what I mean? What's his ambitions like? What's he thinking? What's his temperament like, and that kind of thing, innit? And from the get-go, man, he came with that chat like, boy, I'm not even trying to, like, obviously I'm gonna give my best and do my best and whatnot, but I'm here to challenge for that number 1 spot. Like, I'm not here trying to make friends, but I'm here to win stuff, man. Exactly. And that's the vibe that I got from him, innit? And I think it's his attitude and his personality which is the main reason why he's managed to turn opinion so quickly. Of course,
becoming a fan favorite almost now.
Becoming a fan favorite. Like, he of course he's had some brilliant saves and played brilliant games. Like, even that game against Spurs, that save that he pulled off for Lucas Moura, bro. If that goal goes in,
even in the first half, the Son as well.
Yeah, exactly. but and you think about it in terms of the run of play and whatnot. If that goal goes in, obviously it takes a bit of gloss off the win as well. If it ends 3-2, it's like it doesn't tell the story of the game. But also we would have probably been under the cosh for the last 11 minutes. If
we probably would have bottled it. I can't lie.
Do you see what I'm saying? So for him to pull off saves like that when it really matters, absolutely brilliant. But also it's the way that he communicates with the back line. He seems he never stops talking. He's very vocal. He seems like a bit
calm
of a leader,
as well.
Calm. And for me, the other thing, so the two things that are so like such in contrast to Leno are, one, the fact that he communicates and he's speaking to his back line, he's screaming, he's shouting, he's telling man, do this,
you need
do
as
that,
a keeper.
so on.
Your keeper's meant to be a nuisance, bro.
Exactly that. So I love that about him. And the other thing that he does is he comes to collect crosses so confidently. Like, do you see what I'm saying? There's been times where the ball's getting crossed into the box, and I'm thinking, boy, this is hairy. Like, I don't know if
out there playing
come or go. Yeah, bro. Do you see what I'm saying? But he just comes, my ball. I'll have it. Yeah, that's it. You see what I'm saying?
Mustard, literally.
And the thing about it is that just translates to calm for the rest of the team, the rest of the back line. Everyone, no one's on edge because it's like, do you know what I mean? We've got a guy who can lead from the back. You know what I mean? He's gonna see everything. He's gonna call us out when he needs to call us out. And yeah, like you said earlier, he's not here to make friends. So he'll call man out. If you're doing something stupid, he'll call you out. You get what I'm saying?
What I like about him is, it's a bit like with Martinez. I hate to keep saying his name, but like you said, I like the collecting of crosses. He collects it, and it's almost like you're a goalie. Like with Leno, I'm not saying I don't want to badmouth Leno beyond his annoyance of me, because I do think he's a top professional. But it's you try to do the Alisson and Edison thing. Like, you would want to play centre mid, but you're not their man's level. If you're their man's level, I'll accept it, innit? And the madness to quality keepers. You're like a knockoff version of that, so I'm not really with it. And like you said, it gives confidence when our backs are against the wall. Not just Leno, because actually we lost 5-0 in his last game, and I don't think he was the worst player. I don't think it gives man confidence. I just feel because I play Sunday League, when our backs are against the wall and I see my keeper making mad saves, it gives me confidence, like you said, to the point where the jury's still out, in it, but in a short space of time, he's gone from, how long, when is he going to get his chance? It's Leno's for now. You're actually someone that, I can't lie, you're looking at you to be a leader. And if you carry it on, I'm not really sure on captain, but Tierney got the shouts early. I see no reason why you might not get yourself in the mix, really and truly. I'm almost to the point where, and the positive for me, we didn't know for this guy's ball playing, because we're not watching him like that. I didn't know if it is. It's almost to the point now. My one criticism of you is you're too confident now. It's like, I liked it. There was one with Xhaka where Xhaka got out of it. Now, on another day, that could go wrong. All I want for Ramsdale is to know when to play it and when not to. But he, along with a couple of them, they look like solid purchases. The only one who's got the jury out is still Ben White, because he seems like a bit of like Aubameyang, a bit of an emotive character to me, but in a different way. He's a bit of he's one of them players I don't really think you can slag off. I think you can be honest, but you got to put an arm around him, and one gives him confidence.
100%. Too right. That's a good point. Still, and that goes again down to that point about the way that Arteta has to like deal with different people. Like, you know what I mean? Your approach has to be, you know what I mean, a bit different to different people and whatnot. So yeah, maybe that is it. Maybe that's the approach that you need to take with Ben White in order to get the best out of him. You know what I mean? You can't be too harsh on him. You just gotta like try and encourage him and build his confidence and whatnot. And he looked confident in that game, man. He looked confident against Spurs, bro. Getting up and winning them headers and that. Played some brilliant passes, bro. Long may it continue, man. Honestly.
Like you said, what do you make of this? Buj, who's been Arsenal's best signing in your opinion? Because we've been on them. I should have asked you that, to be fair.
Man, that's tough.
Or make it easier for you. I'll edit the question. Like first, second, and third.
Okay. I'm going Tomiyasu 1.
Fair play. No, you can't not choose that.
Yeah, I'm going to. For right now, Tomiyasu's got to be number 1. I'm going Lokonga 2. I'm going Ben White 3. And I'm going Nuno Tavares. No. Oh, wait, hold on. I've got to include Ramsdale in this, innit?
You can if it's your choice, bro. Do your thing.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go Tomiyasu 1. I'm gonna go Lokonga 2, Ramsdale 3. But Lokonga and Ramsdale's a tight one. Like it's
Do you know when
2A,
Lokonga's got
2B.
shagged? Ramsdale's got his look in the team now. He's taking a bit of the gloss off it, really and
Yeah,
truly.
yeah, yeah,
So he's
yeah,
got
yeah,
shagged,
yeah,
really.
yeah. He's got shagged still. He's got shagged. So, but those two are tight. And then I'll go Ben White and then Nuno Tavares. I think Ben White's done a little bit more than Tavares for me. Obviously, Tavares is tough because he's obviously not first choice as Kieran Tierney. When he's come in, he has shown good glimpses going forward. And I think he is...
Sean, there's a role here for you.
There's
somehow.
a role here for him, definitely. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think he could... He's a bit eccentric. You know what I mean?
Bit too eccentric, like tactically, he'd give me nightmares. I can't lie at this moment.
That's the thing.
But that's what I like. He's a madman. He's on a madness. You never know what you're gonna get, man. We miss one of them dons. I can't lie.
100%. And then obviously, I mean, he's got a physique. He's got all the raw attributes. I think he could be a really good player. And again, for 7 million, absolute steal. Razzle, you raise a good point there. I'm just seeing him mention Odegaard. Flip.
That was gonna be mine. Ooh. Get yours in, people. I don't know where mine would be. Do you know what? Oh, I don't know. Let me try. Fucking. Do you know what? Tomiyasu first, because we finally got a right back.
Yeah.
Odegaard second. Tomiyasu, Odegaard. I want to give it to
Ramsdale or Lokonga.
I want to say Ramsdale, but I don't want to snake my guy Lokonga because I feel them times when we was getting rubbed out against Chelsea and them teams, when you was coming on and doing things, you was looking like you was on stuff. But Ramsdale of late, you know, do you know what? It's the tie. Them man are tied. Them man have to rock, paper, scissors.
It's too tough between them two still.
I'd think Tavares be last for me just because by default you've probably got out of them, with respect to him, he's probably got the lowest ranking in the side, and he's at this moment nothing more than a squad player. But I'd probably go with I think for me I'd have to I don't know about Lokonga second. Odegaard can't be third. I can't lie. I think Odegaard might be Tomiyasu because he's locked it down. I think Odegaard's got an agenda to be first, you know. I really do think Odegaard's got an agenda. I think an agenda could get going because I've always maintained that I think people, not that he's amazing at it, but I think he presses, he demands the ball, he's a bit of a leader. He does a lot of understated stuff.
Underrated, you know. His work off the ball is very underrated.
And his leadership qualities hard. Like, it's not rated because he's a pretty boy, as I said last week with you. Like, he's just because he's got blonde hair, blue eyes, he's not clapped and he's bold and just clapping into tackles. Man, he's not down for it. Like, I think the first 10 minutes, I think he started a bit slow in the North London one, but he's central to what we do, man. The way he links up with the strikers, he presses. I think Tommy has to be first just in terms of competencies. It's like buying a PS5, innit? It's like that's a right back in all aspects. It's like that's a Rolls Royce of a right back. I feel Ramsdale does its job, man. He's durable. He looks like it. I think Odegaard, Odegaard might be first, It might be Odegaard, then Tomiyasu. I can't lie. It's them man got to fight each other for it. I don't know. That is... Yes, a good, and I mean it's funny because we go back 2 weeks ago whenever me and you was like everyone we're sitting here and saying these are not bad players, but apart from Tomiyasu, we're looking at 100 odd millions quid spent, and it don't really at this moment look better. Do you think on that topic, on that topic, to be fair to Edu and Arteta, they did say wait till everyone's fit. They did talk about the turnover and all of these sort of things. Now we gave them a lot of stick when it weren't banging. Do we have to give them a bit of credit now, like really and truly, because everybody's fit? We're not really changing things. Yes, Xhaka came in and Pepe went out and whatnot, but it's been working. Do they deserve time? And do you think where are you at full stop with Arteta now? Because again, I don't like asking people this because it's very volatile, but are you off his back now? Is the jury still out? Is he the guy now? Where are you at with him now?
So how I see it, is that we're just breaking even now. 3 losses, 3 wins. So we're at square zero now. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, so we're starting fresh from this point on. Yeah. What I have to say is, you get me, where you give your criticism is fair. But where you have to give your props, you have to give them. You see what I'm saying? So they did say, wait and judge us when we've got everyone fit. and everyone's been able to play, and we've got a bit of consistency going, and it looks like what they said is exactly right. Like, you know, everyone is fit, and after being able to play all of our new signings and whatnot, we're getting a tune out of the team, right?
Yeah.
So that's great. However, it's a long season. It's still very, very
Very
early,
long.
early days. You see what I'm saying? So I will reserve my judgment until the end of the season. I think now, with how they've turned around the form over the past few weeks, they have bought themselves a bit more time, because now we can see what they were saying. Before, it was like you were chatting and you were saying certain things, half truths, but we weren't seeing it translate on the pitch. Now, what you're saying, we're seeing on the pitch. Like I said, going back to that point I made about the whole mentality going into this North London derby and seeing that translate through the players and whatnot. Now I see, okay, what you're saying is making sense and it's getting through to the players, right? That's a good sign. So let's wait and see. Now you've got everyone fit. Obviously, bar now, what's it called? Xhaka with an injury. You've got the majority of the team fit. Now let's see if we can go on a run. Let's see if we can build up some consistency now, and put a string of good results under our belts, and see where we go from here. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, okay, we had some early adversity, but in the season, but that won't be the first. That won't be the last bit of adversity we see this season. Do you see what I'm saying?
Bro, so, this is it. You're right, bro. And this is where, for me, when they sit here and ask me, and you see it yourself because you're in the same line of work, I'm like, are you in Arteta in? Are you Arteta out? I'm allowed to say I don't believe in the manager. I believe in him, but I don't feel you can say you're fully in or out. This is why I'm just on the fence, because it changes. I still think the same question marks are there. Even if I look at this on a harsh thing, I'm happy we beat Spurs. I'm gassed. Like, come on, man, me and you are grinning teeth. They always say I don't smile. I probably smiled the most in these last few days. But when I scrutinize it, bro, I've been knowing we can do this. Like, we've beaten Spurs last season. We did a job against United. We took a couple points of Chelsea last year. I know we can get it up there for it. We just need it to be consistent. So for me, the consolation's still out there, really and truly. I don't think there is much. Do I feel potentially, you know, there shouldn't be pitchforks per se for him now? I still think the criticism should be there and they can arise, but I think I don't want to say he's earned himself time, because results can change. If you lose to Brighton, you start losing again, perspectives change, but the jury's still out. There's a great point here on Tomiyasu, and that's something I picked up on and I've mentioned. You know, I think, you know, our defense in terms of learning lessons, I did think we switched off for the goal. Tomiyasu and Saka. Saka's not looked. Tomiyasu's not done well enough. Partey and Odegaard haven't done well enough. So that's to cover what my man has just said there. But you mentioned it, bro, and then obviously, whatever you think about him, Xhaka being injured is a significant blow to Arsenal, because we got players less fit. Now, I think it's quite cruel, because I think just before we played Spurs, I think we statistically had everybody fit now. He's been injured. Now, it was a freak injury. He's out for 3 months. You've seen the pictures. Where are you at with that now? What is that? What's your feelings in relation to that?
It is a bit annoying, because it's literally like, don't speak too soon type thing. Because just as we're saying, yeah, Arteta's got everyone fit, we then get an injury.
Yeah.
And it's annoying just because obviously you want, particularly in the middle of the park, you want to have all of your options available, particularly because I feel like if we're talking about levels, I feel like the drop off in levels from Partey to who we have available is too big. At least Xhaka is that nice little stopgap. So worst case scenario, let's say if Partey gets injured, we could bring in a Xhaka to kind of steady the ship a little bit. But the golfing quality
is massive.
For me now is too big, and that's risky. Do you see what I'm saying? If Partey was to get injured, who we bring in is too far below his level to like.
And we needed a midfielder anyways before all of this. You see what I'm
saying? Because you're gonna have to bring in someone like El Neni, you know, who I'm not really convinced on. I feel like we should have got rid of him. Do you see what I'm saying?
Probably an Odegaard Lokonga thing for me if it gets to that, man. If it's gonna get to all of that, I'll give Maitland a chance before El Neni. I can't cap.
you see what I'm saying? But then Maitland, okay, we know he can play there, but
it's rubbed.
It's rubbed. If we're
It's
keeping
rubbed.
it
We gotta be real. It's rubbed. Like
it's
Maitland now,
rubbed.
what I like is he's found his little bench role. He's doing his thing, but I love him. He's mandem and that. I want him to do well, but it's rubbed because I don't know what you're on. Like people always say you're better than Xhaka. If we're real with ourselves, he's not better than Xhaka. He's not better with the ball than Xhaka. I don't know what you are. You run about well. You do all the things there, but. I'm like you. I'm scared, bro. I'm scared. I'm not with everybody saying throw Patino in there and stuff. I'd love him to get chances and that, but it's not fair on the young man. And as you know, Premier League, it's not ability, especially as a midfielder. It's what's going on everywhere. So
exactly that, man.
Arteta's probably gonna have to play, bro. So Arteta will bring a Wilshere back at this moment. Like, you know, like you said, you're scaring me, bro, because you mentioned Partey, and we've been talking about Partey. It just hit me. It's not a sure given thing that he's gonna stay fit. Touch wood. I don't want nothing to happen, but like. If he gets injured, and then what? Like, where are we? And then obviously you've got January. He's going off to play in AFCON, and a couple of players are full stop. So where are we at then?
This is why it's so worrying for me. And again,
I'm saying Ben White, DM, and Chambers, and them thing there. He's gonna get mad.
Nah, yeah. That's all collapse still. That's
the chances calamities.
Yeah. We can't be doing that, man. We can't at all. I guess it is a good opportunity for Lokonga to really, show what he's about, because he probably, I mean, all things considered, if Xhaka was fit, although I know that Lokonga would have played, he wouldn't have played as much football with Xhaka being fit. So it's an opportunity for him to really stake his claim in the middle of the park and whatnot. I think I still want us to run the whole 4-3-3 thing as much as possible. I think just in the games where we need to be a bit more defensively responsible, and in the bigger games that we play like Lokonga alongside Partey. But I think we can still run the 4-3-3 thing. And I think also the other thing with that is that when we're playing 4-3-3, now I think the argument is settled about Saka playing left or right. I think Arteta, if you know what's good for you, just keep him on the right now, please.
Keep him on the right, man. I don't mind him doing a little job on the left, but his thing is the right wing.
His thing is the right wing. You see what I'm saying? And so the only final piece of the puzzle now is Pepe. Because obviously, if we're doing a 4-3-3 thing, it's going to be Smith.
Yeah, what do you think? What I meant to ask you that it's actually here, but I can just copy and paste that and slap this into this timestamp. I meant to ask you on that because me personally, I wanted to ask you because it kind of annoys me. I like the talk, but it's one thing that annoys me. Now, everybody could be right, but it's always, I feel with football, is if we did lose against Spurs and Xhaka weren't there, we scream, Xhaka should have played, Laka should have. It's always the guy that weren't involved. And I always feel we cry about things like competition for places and all of these things. And the minute it's there, we cry how we want it. It's too easy to pick the team. And the minute it's now here, we're like, what happens to him? Because I feel I would have started Pepe. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. As we said, Arteta did his thing. But I would have started Pepe on that left, as we spoke about. I wanted man to get out. In hindsight, it would have been Tanganga. At the time, I thought Emerson Royal, right? I feel people need to keep perspective. Now, obviously, Pepe could be dropped for lack of performance and things like this. But prior, Pepe started however many games, which is unheard of. He got dropped. The manager did something else. Now, I don't think Pepe played bad, but he didn't shell it down. Same way, just before the game, Smith Rowe and Saka, there was legit debates as well as Aubameyang. Like, you man might not have should have been even playing in this game, or you might get dropped. Obviously, they've shelled it down and they've probably held on to their shirts. Where are you at with all of that now? Like, do you think it's doom and gloom for Pepe? He's done. He's out of here now. Bearing in mind, he did have a strong finish to the season. I think people need to forget last season. People need to remember the quality, even though it's frustrating.
Didn't he get double figures in goals? Like,
his numbers are respectable. They're not 70 odd million respectable. He's as we described, he's a 20 to 40 million pound player on his day rotation option. But I don't think he's ever going to be our talisman. And if he leaves, I'm not going to cry. But for me, you know what? We're not going to make our bread back. I think minimum he can be a squad player. You know, there can be a reality where he can evolve with that. But he's shown in bits and pieces, and he's become a bit more complete. Now, if he has to sit out the team, he has to sit out. But I find it a bit mad, all of this, what's going on with him. Even Leno, bro, you need to go in January because you're rubbing me up the wrong way and you want to leave and that. But if a madness happens to Ramsdale or Ramsdale moves shaky, Leno gets a look in, then Leno's the hero again, bro. I find it very antagonizing. But where are you at with Pepe? You think he's done?
So, before I talk about Pepe, the point that you made about Leno, I think low-key, he's already preparing his exit.
Bro, you tried bust that last summer, bro.
I
know them man there.
all those comments and going to the press and doing this and doing that. I feel like he's just angling for his move. Basically.
He's got a new job lined. That's why he's acting up at the workplace, man.
He's
got
probably
it
going to
lined.
go back to Germany still.
He knows, but did you hear him? He's like, Milan's nice, and he been saying I can't blame him, but you want to cut out, bro. Do your thing. And I mean, Hansi Flick was at the North London derby. He must have texted him even though he's not playing. Swear down, you're on the bench. Rough, and it's Ramsdale, brother. Was it back-to-back relegations and that? Like he's gonna get robbed. Like he's. I think. Would you sell him in Jan? I think it's a bit like with Laka. Obviously, the contract separates it, but if you sell Laka and a mad thing happens, boy, you ain't really got too many strikers.
That's the problem.
And it's the same with the goalie.
That's the problem. And if we do sell him in Jan, bro, like I'm not convinced by our backup options, like at all. I don't know. Are you going to bring in another goalkeeper in Jan? I don't know, man. So it's a risky one.
I mean, do you trust the scouting? Obviously, we grabbed Ramsdale and that, but before that, you're bringing in Rob Dons. You brought in Runnison, and what scares me, and it kind of
so rubbed,
bro. Yeah, trust me. And the thing that scares me, I kind of go back to what I mean about seeing Ramsdale on a prolonged basis is. We've had a problem with goalies. Like we haven't recruited well and they've stagnated. Like even the best keeper we probably got out of homegrown at a point was Szczesny. He stagnated. Or Spinon was Kalas, but he's kept being Kalas. Leno's probably stagnated during his time. Now Will Ramsdale, because again, we have changed coaching staff in that time, but Leno ain't exactly kicked on. You went and recruited Runnison. It's a bit rubby. I don't really see proactiveness with our academy goalies. Like we've got a whole heap of them. Probably got about 5 keepers who can play 23. The last time I checked, only one could play through the middle. So it's a madness.
Yeah, 100%, man. There's too many question marks on that. I think the safe thing to do would be to hold on to him until the end of the season where we've got a bit more time and it doesn't have to be like a rushed scattergun type approach. We can actually really think about it long term. Okay, what do we want to do? Are we going to bring in a man who's older and a bit more experienced? Is that
what you're on?
I think so. I think that's probably the better thing to do. You see what I'm saying? So it's like someone who's not going to impact the development of Ramsdale, for example, but an experienced head who, if touch wood, he doesn't get injured. But if that was to happen, then he can come in and deputize that adequately for Ramsdale, basically. But on the point about Pepe, I feel like everyone else in the squad knows their position, or at least us as fans know what we're getting or know what we're expecting from everyone. You know what I mean? We're now able to temper our expectations based on the individual. If we're going to persist with the 4-3-3 thing, it gives the perfect opportunity for Pepe to own his place on the left. You see what I'm saying? Of course, he's been playing on the right for a long period of time and whatnot, and he's played out on the left here and there on the odd game. But I think he needs to just nail it down. Like, you need to put yourself in the shop. Like, you need to put yourself in Arteta's plans. Like,
you need to give him a headache.
You need to give him a headache, because I feel like everyone else has given Arteta like that confidence that no matter what happens, you're my starting 11. You see what I'm saying? Everyone else, he's the only guy who it's like, whether he's in the team or not, there's no
and
real
shown
difference.
Fragments of it as well, like with the FA Cup, like with the tail end the last season. At times he was saving Pepe, he was saving his bacon. Obviously, a bit of why he was probably starting was Saka wasn't exactly fit and stuff. But you're right on that. He needs to just nail it down. I do think Arteta somewhat likes him, because I feel at first I used to think Arteta hated him, but now I look at it as like maybe he just wanted a bit more of a complete player, because you seemed happy. Like, if you did a skill, you're cool with that. You got to understand, man, have to defend, have to do all of these things as well.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I even remember like early quotes from Arteta when he was talking about the fact that like he was talking up Pepe. He was like, look, this guy has the ability to be a top player, but it's about application with him. And that's why sometimes I think even the way that he plays, it seems like he's just content, just, do you know what I mean? Just being on the pitch and just doing a 1-2 skill and whatever. Like,
do you think it's a mentality thing? Because I mean, he does give me Mandem vibes, man. That's why I love him.
That's what he's IC3 in it. He's man's IC3.
This is a London thing of art here.
Like, yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is, like, his whole his whole aura about him, like the way that he does, like on Instagram and that, like the way he moves, yeah, bro. Do you know what that even reminds
Guy's
me?
so lovable. I can't cap.
That's what I'm saying, and that's what is so annoying because he's got the whole like angle, like the whole thing of a guy that should be an absolute baller, but he's not producing it on the pitch. And I remember, I think it was a little while back when Gwen Doozy was doing an interview with him, and he was asking him, like who's the hardest defender you've come and played against, and he was like, no one really, you know. I'm thinking, look at that talk, fam. You're talking like you rise it against every single defender, like, you know what I mean?
It's Arsenal fans. They gassed him when he did that little dribble against Van Dijk, man. You saw that on Twitter. He got gassed.
Yeah, man. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know what it is. Like, there's something that's not quite clicking. Because to be honest, ability-wise, he's got ability, man. We've seen him do it in patches where he produces something so crazy, but it's no way near consistent and often enough to justify again. And no matter what happens, we can't avoid it. We can't escape the chat about the price tag. You see what I'm saying? He needs to deliver consistently, and I don't know. Maybe it is maybe it is a matter of him setting himself personal targets. He doesn't even strike me as someone who has personal targets, who says at the start of every season, I want this amount of goals and this amount of assists. Minimum.
It's like AM said here. It's like I remember his dad saying he's got to do that thing, and I think Pepe spoke a couple months ago about how he's had to change. He's had to be a bit more focused and things. It's the way his dad was speaking about him. It's true. It's like I think when Pepe first came, he just thought it was a London thing. I'm just going to turn up, skillers, just bust out. He didn't realize what the Prem was about. Like you said, there's ability there, man. But it's like it is the decision making. I do feel with fans though, we've bordered on this place now as fans where I don't think there's any medium with Pepe. I think you either love him or hate him. Sometimes, and I mean, I respect everyone's opinions, but sometimes people like Pepe played bad, and I'm looking at the game, I'm like, I respect your opinions, but I've watched this game 2-3 times. You're actually lying. So it's like, where are we at now with Pepe? Yeah, like the agendas are coming out now. Like I get it. If I was a manager, I wouldn't persist with Pepe in my starting lineup, but you'd be part of my squad purely because I'm trying to get 3 points. If I don't know what I'm getting from my centre halves, you can move like Cannavaro 1 week, you move like someone else the next week. I can't rely on you. Pepe, I can't not rely on you. I think where Pepe's been done dirty is he's come out the team and we've shelled it now. We've shelled it down. I don't know if we really should have bought Zaha in hindsight, bro. I was on the Zaha hype, but now that I look back, I can't lie. I think maybe Pepe was the better buy, you know. And I wanted Zaha. Like, it's not that I had nothing against Pepe. I mean, it's a icy free thing. Like you said, Zaha's got it. Like, he's got it, innit? He's South London. He gasses up Arsenal. You know, Arsenal, we were from South. It could have been elite, man. I was here for the Zaha knee slides at the Emirates.
I was. And he was desperate, bro. Man was getting, like, them to put it on the boards in clubs when he was on holiday and that. Like, he was just doing a madness still. But, yeah, I still do feel like there's a player there in Pepe, though, man. There's, I don't know, like, surely there's got to be something he can do to change his game. If it's a thing where Arteta tells him, okay, try and do whatever you're trying to do in fewer touches, or try and get into the box as quickly as possible.
I think it's just a small blood thing, man. Small blood, like, bro, man. Do you know what I think it is with him? Yeah. He's got to look at football for what it is now. I think Sterling's spoken about it. Salah's spoken about it. Alexis Sanchez, spoke about it under Wenger. They speak about this moment where they realize what they thought they knew about football in terms of scoring goals. It's not that it was wrong, but this is the thing. And I think the consistency they've all said is even Rashford under Van Gaal, they spoke about staying in between certain areas, staying in between the lines. I don't think Pepe's quite gone through that. I think there's been an element of that. As I said, I think his whole all-round game has played, but I don't think he, like you kind of said, he's realized what the best individuals in the world do in terms of his position, because Sterling kind of clocked that. I'm not saying Sterling's one of the best, but his goal scoring went up a tenfold and he's made a career of it. So I think that's what has to happen with Pepe. But I hope it happens now with everybody looking serious and things like that, and the tail end of last season. But like I said to you, bro, the other thing, I don't want to carry no passengers. Whether I like the players or not, I don't. We ain't got no passengers. You know, when you go on a plane, it says sort out your thing first before you start trying to help people. Arsenal, the plane has been crashing. We need to survive. So whether they're young or old, I can't really carry passengers at this moment in time. So he's got to pattern up, man. And the thing about football, you're a hero one week and then a villain and then a hero again. So it's down to him, man.
Always the way it
Literally.
runs, man. 100.
And what do you make of this? Because there is a lot of this, because we've shown elements of counter-attacking football in general, in which Pepe has excelled. Personally, I think he can play in deep pockets, because I do think he's more intelligent and better in tight spaces. But primarily, you saw Leo yourself. You know, they were very counter-attacking. They know what they're doing. Do you think he suffers from a potential emphasis of teams changing? Like, we're not as direct as that. Do we fully understand Pepe?
Yeah, I think there's definitely an element of that, because I mean, in the French league, like, yeah, bro, like them defenses were standing on a halfway line for man to just run. He had acres of space to run in behind, bro. Yeah, bro, like you get me. My man just had so much space and time to run, and he had bare one-on-ones. You know what I'm saying? So there's an element of that, and the fact that, of course, in the team that he plays against, you know, the teams that come up against Arsenal are gonna sometimes deploy a low block and whatnot, and he's got to try and navigate irrelevant,
that. He's obsolete.
So he's got to kind of try to adapt his game a little bit, and that's why the whole thing about, you know, us playing on the counter and stuff, and that's part of the reason why I thought maybe we need to have a stint of him playing as a centre forward. You know what I mean?
I don't think I was about to ask you that, but yeah, I don't. For me, on the eve of the Villarreal game, I didn't understand why I didn't go with Pepe through that. Obviously, the Bielsa thing, he had more experience there. I don't know what it was. Maybe there's just something with Smith Rowe. Maybe he didn't believe in him. I don't know where I am with Pepe through the middle. Obviously, if a madness happens with Lacazette and Aubameyang, I'm open to trying it. I'm sure we've considered that before. I'm not convinced though. I feel effing about up there. I'm going Martinelli, man.
I'm not gonna
it's
lie.
that thing. Like I'd do that. Like I'd probably give Pepe a chance before Eddie. I'd probably give Balogun a chance before Pepe, but like Balogun would get 90. Like, and then it's one of them. Like you can get your appearances off the bench, but you got 90 to show that it's a thing above that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, 100%, man, 100%. And I think if that's the thing, then and it's not going to be him playing through the middle, then I think going back to what you said before about those players that just clicked, like they just understood what they needed to do. I think what he needs to do is like basically work on doing one thing particularly well over and over and over again.
Yeah. That's a shout still.
Like Robin, every single time Robin got the ball,
stop that.
Cutting in and he's skying it.
You can't stop that.
Cash money every single time. So Pepe needs to get something like that where he just works on doing one thing and perfecting that one thing. You see what I'm saying? If it is going to be on the left, right, okay, so what's that thing that you're going to do every single time that's just going to be cash money for us? And just work on doing that and perfecting that. And I think maybe that is the place to start with him, basically.
You're right on that, man. Like, just rather than be a jack of all trades, just be a master of one, and then you take it from there, and then everything falls into place. Last couple questions, literally. Obviously, we've done a lot of talking about the form. As you perfectly put it, you know, we broke even. We had 3 L's. We've clawed back for 9 points. Can we keep it going? And what's your feelings going into the Brighton game on the weekend?
I think we can definitely keep it going. The key thing is, it's just been the theme of this whole live stream, which has been continuity, man. If we can keep everyone fit and we can keep playing the same formations, not having to chop and change too much, not trying to be too cute, not trying to be too clever, just play what has been working for us. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Keep the formation, the starting 11 the same. Obviously, manage the minutes of certain players. You know, if we're dominating a game and we're up 1-2, 3-0 or whatever, and you can rest a couple man, do that, use a squad, so on and so forth. But the key thing is continuity, man. And I think I'm very confident that if we can stay consistent with the performances and with the starting 11, that we can get a good run going. I think when we were talking a little while back, we were saying that Brighton was a game that we both weren't feeling too confident about because because they've been quietly doing their thing. You know, a win against Palace the other night and they would have gone top. You see what I'm saying? So they're doing something right,
And
and
the
to
villain
continue.
Mupe was up for it. He's going to be up for it at the weekend.
Yeah, 100%, man. And of course they've got a manager in Graham Potter who really is a guy that I respect and I rate very, very highly. And I think he's got the right idea when it comes to football. So that game will be a hairy game. But I'm given more confidence by the form that we've been in. I'm given more confidence by the way that we've gone about the games that we've had recently. And I'm also given confidence by the fact that there are rumors that they're going to have a lot of absentees and people that are heavily likely to be doubts for that game. And one of them is Basuma. And that's, for me, a big positive for us. It's part of the reason why I feel that much more confident playing a 4-3-3,
Being a
because
bit
he's
more
not going to.
attacking intent
He's what
and
I'm saying.
whatnot.
We can be a bit more attacking because he's a guy that worries me still. I still feel like he's a huge player, and one that can make a difference. So if they're missing him and a few, I can't remember who else. Graham Potter was saying that there are huge doubts for the weekend, but there are a few of them. So it fills me with a bit more confidence, basically, that we can go and get something out of that game, because otherwise that could be a very, very hairy game for us, to be honest.
What I hope doesn't happen is, first and foremost, just as you said, with the point of the injuries and whatnot, I hope we're not being hoodwinked, and I hope these guys actually are out. Second of all, mentality, like you said, again, funny enough, I think we beat Brighton last season, but Brighton is a scary game. The players should know that it's a hairy one. Like you said, full of confidence, could have went top, still performing above expectations. Think we're a bunch of overpaid players and whatnot. They're going to want to spoil our day. For me, the last time we went to one of these sort of, I don't know how to describe it, but these games where I think the atmosphere could go against us, sort of thing, was against Brentford. So I'm a bit wary as to seeing what we're doing in the evening. And obviously, can we continue? I want to see what happens if we go a goal down, because everything's been going well in these last 3 games. I'm only going to see how
To
good
be
you lot
honest,
are when we have to respond to adversity. Norwich didn't do much. Burnley, we done what we needed to do. And Spurs, obviously, the second half was a bit more even. If fine margins went their way, maybe it's a different one. So I would say I want to see aggression, front footness, and whatnot, but I want to see players that know what they're getting into. You're going against a street smart defense. Ben White, same again from Ben White in that regards. It's the Ben White derby. They're probably going to want to get onto you and know what you're about. They probably know everything about him. So I'm shook,
100%.
bro. But
Don't
we do what
lose
we
your
do.
head, Ben White. Do not lose your head.
Facts.
Don't play up to the occasion. Yes, it's the first time you're playing your old team, but don't buy into the hype. Just do your job. You see what I'm saying? Don't live up to the occasion, man. Don't play up to it, man. Like, that's so important for me. I think that's going to be a very, very key one to watch. Definitely.
Do you keep the same lineup?
Um,
Obviously without Xhaka, because obviously the mad thing happened.
yeah, I think we do. I think we do. I think we keep the same lineup, to be honest. Yeah, again, I've been speaking and banging on about consistency and continuity. So I'd be a hypocrite if I was to say let's change it, because you know what I mean. Off a brilliant result and a brilliant performance against Spurs, I think let's keep it going. Let's keep it up the consistency.
Like you said, I'd keep it the same. If anyone's coming in for me, I'd just bring in Lokonga, really and truly. I think he's the most ready-made replacement. I think clearly if Xhaka's not going to be there, then I think maybe, you know what, let's just lock it down, especially away from home. If we're not going to do that, I mean, you've got to try it sometime, innit? You tried the partnership of Odegaard and Partey. It worked against Burnley. I know Brighton are performing significantly better than Burnley, but I mean, Odegaard, Lokonga, and Smith Rowe, I'd go with that. But my first option would be Partey, you fit, Lokonga. Odegaard, keep doing what you're doing. As you said, Smith Rowe, you're off the left. Saka, you're off the right. Aubameyang through the middle. Back five, including Ramsdale, just stays the way it does. But obviously, if need be, one thing I liked is, I don't know what Lacazette and Martinelli got to do to get minutes, but we've got them. And I think we're going to need, I think it's a game for the bench players against Brighton, man. Last thing then, score predictions, Ak.
Oh, I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. I think they're going to score.
Yeah, I'd say the
I think
same.
I think they're going to
I'd say
score.
the same.
So I'm not going to lie. I think they're going to score.
I'd say the same. I'd say the same. I think it's going to be backs against the wall, defending,
Yeah,
heart and
yeah,
mouth
yeah.
moments. I think the little 1-2 things that we spoke about in our last 3 games that have been little warnings, personally, I think they're going to be made to pay for them in this game. Whether we come out or not, it's a different thing. But I'd say a 2-1. I'm not going to lie, I'll take a point. You can't win them all. As much as I want to keep winning, keep it all up. You know, again, it is a tough ask for performance level. Sometimes games don't go your way. So I do want to win. I do expect to win. I am sharing with what you're saying and going 2-1 Arsenal, but boy, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
Man.
I hear you. Yeah. To be honest, if we can come away with 3 points, boy, I'm over the moon. Still, I'm over the moon. Definitely, especially with them on their current form and how they've been going about quietly about their business. It's a big result for us if we can get 3 points there. But yeah, like you said, even a point I think would definitely do us well, man. And we go again. Do you know what I mean? Get a point from the game and we move on. So yeah, fingers crossed, man.
What was I gonna say to you? Obviously, you know, I can't imagine these people don't know, but let them know where they can find you.
100%, man. So as ever, guys, appreciate you guys all tuning in and staying locked and whatnot. I'm part of the Beautiful Game podcast. If you don't know, you can hit us up on Twitter at podcast_TBG.
Arteta Saka interview people.
Yeah. That's the latest one, man. On YouTube, you can check us out. Our latest interview is with Arteta Saka, obviously the head of the academy. So check that out. We've got interviews on YouTube with Brendan Rodgers, Kieran Trippier, John Joe Shelby, Rio Ferdinand.
All of it. See, them and they're big time, you know.
Hey, what? That kills. Man said my secondary school. Hey, shouts out to you, Cole.
Small world.
That's an old school guy there, boy. Wow.
Shout out,
yeah, man. So yeah, hit us up, man. Hit us up. Follow us if you're not yet following us on all those platforms. We got more interviews and that with managers and players coming soon. We interview people in the game currently, ex-players, so on and so forth.
The whole shebang, folks.
So yeah, man, please stay locked. And then you can hit me up on my personal socials as well. On everything, it's
You don't need to get on. You don't need to get onto him about his own YouTube channel. I say it here every week, people. And you say that. Some people don't learn it, man. Just you're shagging yourself, bro, man. You need to
yeah, 100. I keep on saying it, but it is coming. Right now, work's just kicking my ass, but I'm gonna make sure I run some content, man. Definitely. But yeah, guys, follow me up, man. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of that, man. TALK2BUJ, man. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. And big up to you, DG. Always a pleasure when we touch down, man. So
nah, man. I told you my platform's always open to people that I talk to, people that I'm friends with, people that talk honest conversation, and the door's always open, as I said, man. And thank you for giving up your time. Pleasure to everybody listening. Obviously, in terms of other content, people, I'm going to be live again on Twitch at 5:20, Atalanta versus Young Boys, and then I'm over on YouTube for Juventus Chelsea from 7:40. Apologies. So yeah, make sure you're supporting the team. Make sure you're following the Beautiful Game podcast, TALK2BUJ, all of that good stuff, people. Yeah, man. One love to you lot. We're gonna have to love and leave you lot. We're out. Peace.
There's always just that active red line defending. I think it's like